Hi friends, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Welcome to a full spring garden maintenance day. We have lots to get accomplished today. We need to deadhead some tulips and some bearded iris, lots of weeding and edging to do. Also, I want to plant some new things in the garden. Also, I'm going to do some interplanting of cut flowers and vegetables. And just overall, the garden needs a full day of maintenance. So let's start off by deadheading these beautiful labella pock tulips. I'm just coming in there, snipping off the heads. I've never attempted to see if labella pock perennializes or not in my area. So I left about 50 and I pulled 50 out just to clear away some space for other things. Now let's go ahead and clear off these stone landing pads that I made. This one I made last year, and there's one on the other side that I made in a previous year. And I have some exciting stonework that I'm going to be sharing with you all in the next video. I've already accomplished this new stone rug, shall we say, in one area of the garden, and that will be the video to follow this. But before we get around to that fun project, we need to really get all the weeds pulled from this garden and finish planting out more of my cut flowers and also my vegetables. You can see in my garden, it tends to get a little bit crowded, and I need to make sure I get in there and give the plants the room that they need to grow. But I want the look of a full and lush garden, and sometimes this really does take quite a lot of maintenance. So what I'm doing here is taking my fall sown feverfew, and I'm just sacrificing a few stems for the sake of these smooth hydrangeas that we planted last year. I believe we planted these as pint-sized shrubs, and I really love planting pint-sized shrubs. They seem to do so well, and by year 3, you would never even know it was a pint-sized shrub. Now let's go ahead and deadhead some of my bearded iris. I don't always get around to doing this, but these beautiful concertina are so lovely in the garden. I really want them to shine brightly for as long as possible. And I'm so excited to share this new belt with you. My girlfriend Jerry, who works over at Chanticleer Gardens, helped design it. And it's just perfect for storing my tools and especially my pruners. I'm not sure if I told you guys this, but last fall I dropped open pruners on my foot, and of course I was being so dumb. I was wearing flip-flops that day, and I was basically out of commission in the garden for almost a month due to that injury. So I'm doing my best to try and wear one of these belts whenever I have my pruners around, because I've really gotten into a bad habit of just throwing them into the wheelbarrow, throwing them into the garden, or sticking them in my back pocket. So this really nice leather tool belt is really helpful to keep me on track in terms of safety. We're going to go ahead and remove some of these red heucheras from the garden now. I liked them, but I want to just try to get better at repeating the same plant over and over and over again. Essentially have less varieties of plants and just more of them. But don't worry, these beautiful red heucheras are already over at my mom's house, and I can't wait to see how she uses them in her garden. So as soon as I popped one of these new penstemon into the ground, I immediately just popped the red heuchera into that pot. And I do have about 5 of these penstemon over in the hydrangea room already. So I think I added in 6, so we'll have 11 in this area. And hopefully that will be a really nice show and enough repetition. I think we'll have to wait and see. So now let's move on to a bit of garden maintenance that I have to do at least weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. Oh, first, I forgot to share with you, of course all of these clippings go into my favorite location, the compost pile. I love the smell of compost, but back to work here with the weed whacker. I do have to weed whack my stone pathways, like I said, at least once a week, sometimes even twice a week, especially in the spring if we're getting a lot of rain and it's nice and sunny in between those rainy days. weed whacking the stones and blowing them is sometimes a bi-weekly chore, but it's a chore I really do enjoy. I did pick up a few plants from the side of the road at an Amish farm stand. I picked up some lady's mantle. They were only $2, so I just couldn't resist purchasing a few more. And it's in line with my principle of wanting to repeat the same plant over and over again, because I do have lady's mantle in the garden already. And also the fact that I want to get as much acid green into the main flower walk as possible. So we're accomplishing two things by adding 5 more lady's mantle into the garden. And here comes Grace, who knows what she's up to. I also picked up some meadow sage, and sorry about the camera work here, but basically I'm planting 3 meadow sage under the limelight hydrangea where there already was a few meadow sage. Once again, just trying to get better at that principle of repeating the same plant over and over and over again. Always something to weed around here, but I really wanted to show you this. I picked up this geranium. This is a perennial geranium from the side of the road. I only paid $2.50 for it, and I was able to divide it into what I believe was at least 8 sections. So instead of just plunking this division from a local Amish lady into the garden, I was able to divide it and spread it around my Fothergilla so that it will cover a larger area. So I do anticipate this taking many months to grow together, but I would say by the time we reach the end of August, maybe the September garden tour, these small divisions will have grown together, and this may delay flowering also. In fact, I would say it probably will definitely delay flowering, but I think well worth it. And for $2.50, you just can't beat 8 new geranium plants. So after I watered those new geraniums in well, I went ahead and removed 4 of the spring planted Sweet William to make room for some determinate tomatoes that I'm planting. I decided to only grow 1 indeterminate tomato this year and the rest determinate. In case you're new here, what I used to do was manage a vegetable farm. It was basically a vegetable show farm that provided produce to the owner's hotel and to restaurants. And I had the pleasure of managing it and maintaining and running it. And it was very hard work, but I learned a lot about growing all different kinds of vegetables. And what I'm going to be doing is just interplanting these tomatoes with Sweet William. They will work together well. And I'm also going to interplant some gomphrena. This is the gomphrena that we started together. I would say it's been about 6 weeks now that we started this together. I'm going to surround this entire bed with that gomphrena. And then I'm going to plant my hot peppers in the center of the bed. This is something that I did at work on a much larger scale, and it worked out really well and looked really beautiful, especially in August and September when the gomphrena are just in full bloom, nice and bushy, and the peppers are in the height of their production. It was just such a beautiful sight to see. Well, friends, I think that brings me to the end of this day of garden maintenance. Next up, I still need to get my celosia in the ground. I need to get all my dahlia tubers in the ground. They're still growing under lights, and I can't wait to show you this new stone rug. Until next time, though, happy gardening. Bye!